Star Wars is finally coming back to the big screen this May with the release of The Mandalorian and Grogu. And if you haven't been following the Star Wars TV shows too closely, there is a lot to catch you up on. So without further ado, here is a recap of The Mandalorian in 7 minutes. In Season 1, we are introduced to Din Djarin, the lone Mandalorian bounty hunter who works for the Bounty Hunters Guild on the planet Navarro, ran by the guild leader Greef Karga. Navarro also happens to be the location of a small Mandalorian syndicate that Din Djarin is a part of. This syndicate consists of Children of the Watch, or descendants and recruits from the Death Watch cult that originated during the Clone Wars. We find out that Din Djarin was saved by a member of the Death Watch after his parents were killed by battle droids during the Clone Wars. While working for the Bounty Hunters Guild, Din Djarin picks up a job working for a group of Imperial remnants. They are after a mysterious target and offer to pay Mando with Beskar metal if the target is captured alive. Beskar metal is the strong steel that Mandalorian armor is made of, and it's even resistant to blaster bolts and to lightsabers. During his mission to find the target, Din Djarin gets help from a local farmer named Quill. Quill helps the Mandalorian get passage to the location of the target, which is 50-year-old Grogu. Grogu is the same species as Yoda, which ages very slowly, so Grogu is 50 years old, but he's still just a baby. Din Djarin takes Grogu and heads back to the Guild of Navarro, but on the way he runs into a strong beast called the Mudhorn, which actually almost kills Mando, but Grogu, using the Force, saves the day. Mando returns to Navarro, where he hands Grogu over to the Imperials and claims his Beskar reward. He then brings this newly acquired Beskar to the Mandalorian Syndicate in order to upgrade his armor to a new shiny Beskar armor. After getting his new armor, Mando starts to feel bad for Grogu and fears that the Empire will do horrible things to him, so he busts in and rescues Grogu, fleeing the planet but betraying the Bounty Hunters Guild and Greef Karga in the process. But soon, Mando discovers that all the members of the guild have tracking fobs and are following Mando and Grogu. After a while, Greef Karga reaches out to ask for Mando's help, as ever since he left, the Imperial presence has only grown on Navarro. Mando decides to help out Greef Karga in return for forgiveness from the guild, but once the team arrives on Navarro, they are ambushed and pinned down by the Imperial warlord Moff Gideon, who we find out is the person who originally put out the bounty for Grogu. The team finds a way to escape and plants a bomb on Moff Gideon's ship, causing it to crash. Moff Gideon survives, and we actually find out he's in the possession of the Darksaber, an ancient lightsaber created by the first Mandalorian Jedi, which was last in the possession of Bo-Katan, a Mandalorian that we were introduced to in the Clone Wars TV show. In Mandalorian Season 2, Din Djarin continues his mission of trying to protect Grogu and deliver him to the Jedi so he can be trained in the ways of the Force. In Episode 1, we're introduced to Cobb Vanth, the Marshal of Mos Pelgo, who now dons the lost armor of Boba Fett, which he bought from some Jawas. Din Djarin wants to return the Beskar armor back to the hands of the Mandalorian people, so he helps the people of Mos Pelgo in return for the armor. Later in the season, the Mandalorian runs into Bo-Katan and several other Mandalorians, where he learns the location of the Jedi Ahsoka Tano. Din Djarin brings Grogu to Ahsoka, hoping that she will take him and train him, but Ahsoka refuses because she is no longer a Jedi. But she instructs the Mandalorian to bring Grogu to an ancient Jedi site that would allow him to connect with any remaining Jedi. Din Djarin also acquires a solid Beskar spear while on the planet. After bringing Grogu to the ancient site, Mando is confronted by Boba Fett, who is in search of his lost armor. Boba gets his armor back, but the Empire ambushes them and takes Grogu back to Moff Gideon. The Mandalorian gathers a crew to help rescue Grogu from the grasps of the Empire. Din Djarin is able to use the Beskar spear to fight off Moff Gideon and defeat him in combat, making him the rightful owner of the Darksaber. But Mando and his crew are then overrun by Moff Gideon's army of elite Dark Troopers. And when all seems lost, a mysterious Jedi shows up and defeats the Dark Troopers, revealing himself to be the legendary Luke Skywalker. Luke had heard the call that Grogu sent out at the ancient Jedi ruins and came to help. Din Djarin takes off his helmet in order to say goodbye to Grogu before Luke takes him to train at his new Jedi temple. The next time we see Din Djarin is during the events of the Book of Boba Fett, where he reunites with the Mandalorian Guild from Season 1. The armorer instructs Mando that he has removed his helmet and is no longer Mandalorian, and therefore he must bathe in the waters of the mines of Mandalore in order to cleanse himself. But in the meantime, he has the armorer melt down the Beskar spear into chainmail armor that he can gift to Grogu. He travels to Luke's Jedi temple where we see Luke and Grogu training to better use his Force powers. Din Djarin drops off the chainmail, and Luke gives Grogu a choice. He can accept Yoda's lightsaber and continue training with Luke to become a Jedi, or accept the chainmail and reunite with the Mandalorian, as he would be giving in to his attachments. Grogu chooses the chainmail and is later reunited with the Mandalorian. In Season 3, he begins his quest to cleanse himself in the holy waters of the mines of Mandalore, and with the help of Bo-Katan, he succeeds in his task and also discovers that the planet of Mandalore is habitable after previously believing that the air was toxic to breathe. He then returns to the Mandalorian Guild where he's accepted back after being redeemed. Later in the season, there is conflict between the Mandalorian Guild, who believe you cannot remove your helmet, and Bo-Katan's people, who believe you can remove your helmet. Din Djarin gives the darksaber to Bo-Katan, claiming that she defeated him in combat, and she uses the darksaber to reunite the Mandalorian people, who now all work together to fight back against Moff Gideon, who is back with some more evil plans. We find out the reason he wanted Grogu is to use his blood to create Force-sensitive clones of himself. Din Djarin and Bo-Katan confront Gideon, who now dons his enhanced Mandalorian Dark Trooper armor. During the fight, the darksaber is destroyed and the facility blows up, presumably killing Moff Gideon and all of the Force-sensitive clones. The Mandalorian covert is then relocated to Mandalore as they try and rebuild the planet, and Din Djarin and Grogu decide to settle down on a tiny homestead on the outskirts of Navarro as they wait for their next adventure. And that is the last time that we've seen the Mandalorian before his upcoming movie. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this recap, and leave a comment down below with what you think is going to happen in the Mando and Grogu movie. Thank you so much for watching.